Being in front of the microscopic lens of the camera can be nerve-wracking. Today we're going to learn a thing or two about on-camera performance.
You've probably heard about medications called blood thinners. Well, a lot of people take them.
Johnson will be here any second with that proposal.
The proposal.
Vilket språk är detta? Ingen vet. Mina hjälpmedel går inte att använda. Vi har en hemteater.
Okay, you're good to go.
Great. You amaze me, Angela. You really do. I know that my job takes my attention away from here a lot. I know that. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing that I enjoy more than just having you here. Even then, I knew you had a gift. I've seen too many guys get scared. I got scared. But you're not me.
We know that SPN has a huge variety of classes, and next month's class is no exception. Here with me today is Bill Cooper, who is an actor and an acting coach, and he'll be teaching our class in June called Being an Effective On-Camera Host. Welcome to the show.
I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Bill, so can you tell us a little bit about your background in communications broadcasting?
Absolutely.
And what brought you here?
I'd be more than happy to. I grew up in central Minnesota in a small town of Kimball just by St. Cloud, and I was always involved in drama and theater and all that, and was really encouraged to go into radio or television as a young person, and I ended up going to into mass communications at St. Cloud State, which pretty much puts you on the road to being a newscaster. And I enjoyed that for a while, but I knew deep down that I really wanted to be an actor. Mm-hmm. So I did some producing, but ended up pretty much getting rid of my full-time job in about 1990 and have been an actor ever since. I do mostly television commercials and thousands of training videos and host things and infomercials and whole variety of things. So that's, I'm a farm kid turned actor.
Okay, now I went out to your website and I noticed you have a pretty impressive resume.
Thanks.
And with such a fiercely competitive field, what do you attribute your success to?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, first of all, I think you have to look at success as kind of different for different people. If people just look at it financially, they might go, oh, Bill, you maybe haven't been as successful because you haven't made $1 million a year or $200,000 a year. But what I also always think about the business is, number one, it's a business. And if you sort of balance out the idea of a creative self and develop an acting craft, as well as having the idea that it's a business. You go on a certain amount of auditions, you get a certain amount of work, you have to invest a certain amount of money in pictures and demo reels and all that kind of stuff. So if you approach it with a really great attitude, the idea that it's a business, learn a craft, support it with good business sense, I think that really helps with the success. And the last thing I'd also say is repeat business. Any business that you have, if you open up a restaurant, you want people to come in once and then come in twice and then bring their family and then have a party. That, you know, it's a growing sort of thing. And so for me, I think over the years it's been, again, being professional about it, having producers that want to work with me more than once or twice, having agents that can really rely on me to be to a certain place at a certain time, know my lines, bring the right clothes, and really think about it as a long-term business and developing relationships. Okay. So none of that was about looks and none of it was about talent. It's really about your passion and following what you want to do.
Okay, so now you're an actor and you're an acting coach.
Yep.
What do you think, what brought you to wanting to teach people your craft?
A couple things, actually. About 7 or 8 years ago, one of my acting colleagues, we were at an audition actually, and she said, you know, I'm teaching some workshops, and would you ever like to fill in for me? And I hadn't really thought much about it, but quite frankly, it kind of fell into my lap kind of easily, partly because I had been teaching informally for a long time. A lot of people are like, oh, you've been doing a lot of stuff, can I take you out to lunch, or can I take you out for a glass of beer or something? And then they would pick my brain about the business or whatever it was. I've been an ear-prompted spokesperson for many years, so I would teach people ear prompting. So I really have been teaching for a long period of time. But my philosophy is also this, in that all of us adults eventually in our life become teachers, whether it's because we're parents, because we know enough about the business, whatever it is. I think we all become teachers. And quite frankly, after so many projects and so many things over the years. I still get a lot of thrill about the acting work I do, but there's a certain additional feeling of satisfaction when you help other people move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I would say, the thing I like about teaching, and I teach people all, you know, as young as 6, 7 years old, all the way up to 60s and 70s, is I teach a lot of young people, and to me that keeps me young. It keeps me thinking about the future and the opportunities that they have as well. So teaching has been a real gratifying thing for me.
Oh, I bet, I bet. Now, you are, a lot of our members here are talk show hosts. Give me a couple things that you would say they could do to prepare for an on-camera interview, and then also to help the interviewee feel a little more comfortable.
Sure, those are also great questions. Like anything, you get better at it the more you do, so thinking about 4 or 5 things is sort of a place to start. I think you can divide into sort of 3 areas. Number 1, yourself as the interview host kind of person, the interviewee, how do you make them comfortable, and also what makes a good interview. As a host, number 1, much like you said early in our interview, you said, well, I went to your website, I checked you out, you got to do your research. The more you know about myself or the group of people you're interviewing or the situation why we're being interviewed, the better off you are. You have a bigger, broader base to draw from when it comes to questioning or creating a dialogue or whatever that is. The second thing, quite frankly, for a host, learn to be articulate, learn to speak properly, pronounce your words properly. Do enunciation exercises because you're a spokesperson. You should speak properly. It's amazing the number of people that mispronounce words. They say your instead of your, things like that, because.
Makes a difference.
It's not because, it's because. So you need to control that. As far as the person being interviewed and things, number 1, you want them to be comfortable because then they will end up being more relaxed in the situation and hopefully sharing more personal anecdotes or emotional sort of things. And you do that by number 1, much like you guys did here today. You brought me in and you said, hey, do you want water? Here's where you sit. Here are the keys. You kind of explained what the situation was going to be because we realized that people like myself are used to this situation, but many of the people you interview aren't. So even just explaining, okay, there are 3 cameras, this is how it's going to work, this is where you look or don't look, here's the type of microphones we use, don't hit them so they make noise, it'll drive our audio person crazy. So tell them technically what's going on. Give them little hints, like if they're asked a question, well, repeat part of the answer as you begin answering the question. Those kind of things. And the last thing I would say, and this is for men and women, but a lot of times people don't know what to wear to an interview, you know? Tell them avoid red, avoid white, wear something, you know, neutral, and because part of your job is to make them look good.
Okay.
So you want them to look good.
Yep.
So those are a few smattering of things that as you work with hosts or make people comfortable with interviews that I think of.
Okay. Now, your class is coming in June.
Yep.
Who do you think of our members would best benefit from your workshop?
I always joke around in my classes when I get a class and the people are almost making an excuse for being really new. I also almost in my head applaud because it's like, oh great, I get them early on and can show them the right way of doing things or steer them away from the wrong way of doing things. The workshop that I put together, and I've done this workshop quite a number of times, is for people at all levels of hosting, whether you've done it for a long time or you've done it for a short time. And like I say, I like to get those basics out of the way, but I also know in the workshop, for instance, our plans are to have anybody that's participating show me and show the workshop and the class clips from your shows and whatnot so we can also critique them. Sometimes that's a difficult part, but we all learn by facing the truth and different things like that. So I think it's for everybody at any age and every stage in their development. So I encourage folks that are just getting started or those that have been around for a long time, bring it on. We'll help you out.
Well, thank you, Bill, for coming to the show. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Glad to do it.
And remember, if you're interested in improving your on-camera hosting skills, you won't want to miss this class. You can get more details at our website at www.spnn.org. Hope to see you there.